From the Cleveland County Courthouse in Norman, I'm Dave Morris reporting for the Oklahoman. At the end of yesterday's testimony, day 2 of the Oklahoma opioid trial, we saw a lot of large boxes being wheeled into Judge Thad Botman's courtroom. There was a 30-minute sidebar before testimony began this morning for discussing the admission of those boxes and some other evidence. Turns out those were 35 boxes of call notes from J&J Pharmaceuticals. Johnson & Johnson and Janssen Pharmaceuticals are the defendants in this case against the state of Oklahoma, or brought on by the state of Oklahoma.
Because we feel it's appropriate to continue to educate in the area that we are engaged in, but again, content-wise, we're not influencing that content.
We heard continuing testimony from Corporate Representative Kimberly Deem-Eshleman throughout this morning. State Attorney Brad Beckworth questioned her about marketing, about compensation for reps, and other uses that Johnson & Johnson and Janssen Pharmaceuticals marketed throughout the state of Oklahoma.
You require yourself to be a good citizen of the communities where you work, right?
Yes.
You worked here in Oklahoma, right?
Yes.
How much money has Johnson & Johnson spent in Oklahoma to abate the opioid crisis we have? Here in Oklahoma specifically?
Sir, I don't know as I know that answer.
Have you spent $1?
Again, based on what I've looked at, I don't know as I'm have the understanding of knowing that.
Well, you do understand that this case is seeking abatement to fix the opioid crisis that we have, right?
Yes.
You do understand that we've accused Johnson & Johnson as being a cause of the opioid crisis that we have, right?
I understand that, yes.
Yet you don't know whether you've spent a single dollar in the state of Oklahoma to help abate the crisis that we have?
That's the third time he's asked the question, and she says she didn't know.
Will you look at that for me?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
I think that's a fair question, Your Honor.
It's not a fair requirement. We've already done the discovery in this case. Putting responsibilities on the witness on the stand is improper.
I'll sustain the objection to the question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Drug abusers will figure out how to abuse Duragesic once it's more available. Currently, it may be less abused, and there is a dangerous, narrow margin between a recreational dose to get high and a lethal dose. As market share goes up, so will abuse. Overpromising on the lack of abusability is what got OxyContin in trouble. Duragesic should not repeat the same mistake.
This is your MSL group, your KOLs telling you that drug abusers will figure out how to abuse Duragesic once it is more available, right?
It says that, yes.
Okay. And that the margin between a recreational dose to get high and a lethal dose is a dangerous, narrow one, right?
It says that, yes.
When I talked about oversupply and then you will die, it says right here a different version. As market share goes up, so will abuse, right?
It says that, yes.
It says that overpromising on the lack of abusability is what got OxyContin in trouble, right?
It says that.
Her testimony is expected to continue throughout this afternoon and into tomorrow. You can find continuing coverage every day in the Oklahoman, and of course on our website at oklahoman.com.